Earlier on, you can watch this conversation live across our social media platforms at K24 TV on a day that Professor Kindiki is set to ascend to power as the second in command, taking over from impeached Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua. I'd introduced two of my panelists earlier on, but joining us right now is Honorable Geoffrey Ruku, the MP for Mbeere North. A very good morning to you, Honorable Member.
Good morning.
It must be a very, very happy morning for you.
It's happy for the Republic of Kenya.
Okay.
For the people of the Republic of Kenya, it's a good day. For where we are saying we have one Kenya, one flag, one people. No region from any part of this country is more important than the other.
Okay.
No, Kenya is not a company. Kenya is a state, it's a sovereign state where every individual, from minority communities to whichever community, you have equal right to be represented by your government and to be to get the services of your government, regardless of where you come from, regardless of your race, your tribe, your religion, your affiliation, your political affiliation. We are one Kenya, guided by one flag, one national anthem, one people. So it's a great day for our republic, regardless of where you come from. Okay. Professor Kindiki Professor Kindiki and President William Ruto are people who understand, one, the vision of our founding fathers, and two, the tenets of our constitution, the letter and intent of our constitution, that no one should be left behind, regardless of where you come from, and no government official or state officer who should make any other Kenyan feel as if he doesn't belong to this government or to this nation. Okay. All of us are paying taxes. We deserve services in all corners of our country. We need the face of Kenya in our government institutions. Okay. I think it's a turning point to our nation, and also where our constitution will remain supreme. It's not mere papers because you have some political following. Our constitution is supreme, and all of us, state officers, elected or non-elected, must abide by the provisions of our constitution. Moving forward, we'll be asking President William Ruto and his government to solve the crisis in the education sector, to solve the crisis in the health sector, so that every Kenyan can feel indeed Kenya is moving the right direction.
Fair enough.
We have no excuse whatsoever not to provide what we promised to the people of the Republic of Kenya. We will be pushing and the president and his government to ensure Kenyans get proper services. And we don't want to see grappling again in government. We don't want to see any kind of competition in government. Okay. We have one national symbol of unity, and that is the President of the Republic. He must be respected by all of us. His deputy must respect him, and us, all of us who are state officers, must accord him the necessary respect, so that we can have that tranquility, that environment, which is not an environment of bickering within the government, day in, day out, so that Kenyans can get the services which they deserve. They have a right because they have paid for it.
Okay, pretty much. Dr. Hassan, let me just come to you. As a leadership and governance expert, what do you make of the developments that we have in the country?
I think, first and foremost, I would like to congratulate members of Parliament for impeaching the Deputy President and successfully ensuring that that process is completed. The only good thing they have done is to get rid of the former Deputy President because of his behavior and act. Not that he has done anything that warrants him to be removed from the office in terms of his personality, but in terms of his role. He has played a very great role in disenfranchising, or what do you call this, I mean, ensuring that Kenyans go into dawns. I mean, that's one thing that I will always refer to, because the deputy president the former deputy president whom we expected him to be the second in command and to be the deputy president of this nation decided or opted to be a regional president. And of course, when he reintroduced the BBI, one man, one vote, one shilling, and when he said that there are only animals who are living in northern Kenya, but the people population are not there, meaning that we who live in those hardship areas of this country are not human. So that actually took a serious turn in his career. And of course, everybody thought that he is not the right person to be the deputy president. And of course, when he went further into the National Intelligence Services, which is a secret of every nation, I think that also was overboard. And of course, finally, the one which, if I was the president, I would have done the same, is when he has spoken behind the president after Gen Z's attacked Parliament. You cannot speak behind your boss. Once you do that, or you think that you are smarter than your boss will tell you leave. And therefore, we knew very well that regardless of whether we go through legal process or not, the process of impeaching him was political, and that was completed long ago. And we knew very well, all Kenyans and the rest of the world knew that Gachagua will not get back to the office of the deputy president. And we were waiting, Professor to pick his office, which he's doing today. But in terms of overall governing the nation, we expect now Professor to first remove all those bad image that office has been given. Secondly, he must show the value and the respect that office has in the face of the nation, because that's the second in command. And by any means, that office is not an office that you can compare to any other office other than that one of the presidency. And therefore, we know very well now a lot will happen. But the fact that now he was the CS for Interior, and now he's the deputy president, who will also sit in the cabinet meeting and security meetings, he will be able to also advise the CS who will be coming in. I don't know whether Honorable Roku will be given CS for Interior, because for us who are the minority in this nation, don't hold big offices. We only get one office at a time in every government setup. Mm-hmm. Therefore, probably he might be given that office. If he's given that office, then Professor will be handy in terms of advising him on what things, what needs to be done in terms of ensuring that Kenyan security and safety of their life and property is secured.
Fair enough. Mr. Osino, let's talk about the courts. Did the attacks on the judiciary come back to bite regarding Gachagua?
I don't want to believe so, because ordinarily judges are not supposed to make decisions based on what other people have commented about them. Judges are supposed to make decisions based on the law and based on the constitution and the law. Mm-hmm. So in as much as, of course, Gachagua had made comments appearing to attack the judiciary, I don't want to believe that that greatly influenced the decision of the court, because they're not supposed to be influenced by external factors. But judges are human beings. They sometimes succumb to, they are not deaf and they're not robots. Judges are also human beings with emotions, so that whatever you say, you're supposed to be cautious as to how it's going to be received by the courts. But nevertheless, let me just also comment on the topic at hand. Congratulations to the Deputy President who is going to be sworn in today. But of course, I appreciate one thing, at least he projects a national outlook, in the sense that as opposed to the former Deputy President, Kenyans will have a feeling that now we have a Deputy President who appreciates the whole country as opposed to a particular region. But I want to speak briefly on the decision that was made yesterday so that we can understand ideally what the decision meant and the implication of that decision. The first thing I wanted to say is yesterday in court, Gachagua had 2 wins. But the case turned on what we call public interest. Number one, Gachagua won on the issue of a political question doctrine. There are arguments that this case is political, and ideally, once you are impeached, the matter cannot go to court. But the court held that they are supposed to interrogate constitutional issues, legal issues, and human rights issues that might have been violated as against Gachagua. So to that, he got a win. The other thing was whether the court had jurisdiction to entertain the petitions and applications of the nature that were before court. The court said that in as much as the Senate is bestowed with the responsibility of impeachment, you cannot exclude the courts from questioning the process. So again, that was a win for Gachagua. But now, where this case turned on is on the issue of public interest. Where is the public interest? The courts held that the continuity of a country is more important than the rights of a single individual. So that it is in the public interest that that office be filled, as opposed to it being clouded with mystery as to who is the DP or who is not the DP. In the sense that the conservatory orders that were lifted yesterday had the implications of now allowing the government to proceed with the processes of swearing in the new DP.
Let me just stop you right there and ask you. The court, and this is what they said, continued conservatory orders would render constitutional provisions providing for exclusive functions of the DP suspended, a situation that in itself constitutes a violation of the Constitution. Now the same Constitution says the President has 14 days. National Assembly has 60 days. Those are 74 days. Let's assume the President and the National Assembly consumed all the 74 days. That seat would be vacant. For the 74 days. So where do we draw the line?
No. The Constitution envisages that the process should not go beyond that period.
That's why you're working with the 74 days?
Yes. So ordinarily it's upon the President and the Parliament and all the machineries of government to ensure that the process takes the shortest time possible so the country can move on. So that nothing can be done extra beyond the days provided in the Constitution. That will be extra constitutional, which will be unlawful.
Okay. Yes. Fair enough. Honorable Ruku, Professor Kindiki is a man that, they say give credit where it's due. He has silenced the guns in the vast northern region. And the Interior Docket has seen many strides made in ensuring that the country is safe. But in terms of the political aspect, there are questions arising as to whether he has the appeal to ensure, we cannot deny that there is some sort of disquiet in the Mount Kenya region, especially the Mount Kenya West. We do know that the Mount Kenya East, and yesterday we saw a section of residents in probably Tharaka Nithi and parts of Mount Kenya East going to the streets to celebrate. But there is some sort of disquiet within the Mount Kenya West. Does the DP designate, who will be sworn in today, have the political appeal to ensure that it can be able to bring back the Mount Kenya region back to the fold of the president? Because we do know that a section of it is somehow disgruntled.
The politics of regionalism died with the election of Deputy President, then William Ruto, now the President, in 2022, in a huge manner from the Mount Kenya region. That was the end of regional politics in the Republic of Kenya. We were not going to see again, someone senior becoming the President of the Republic out of where he comes from. Anybody in the Republic of Kenya, regardless of where you come from, you can be the President of our country, depending on the policies, promises you make to the people of Kenya, the manifesto you set to the people of Kenya, depending on the effort which you are going to make in trying to become elected as the President of the Republic of Kenya. Still, there are those who believe that as things are, the first thing is where you come from. so that you can be able to become a senior politician in the Republic of Kenya. Those are living in the back days of our politics. Moving forward, it doesn't matter whether you come from Mukambani, it doesn't matter whether you come from Ramu, or you come from, I don't know, which corner of Omambi. You can be the President of the Republic of Kenya. You can be the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, so long as you have, portrayed yourself. One, you are loyal to your party, you are loyal to a specific leader. Professor Kindiki is a very loyal person to the government he serves. So there's no doubt he has now a platform for the Kenyans to know who is indeed Professor Kindiki. We want to see him in Bungoma. We want to see him in Omambi. We want to see him in Mandera. We want to see him in other corners of the Republic. We don't want to see him in Tharaka. We don't want to see him in Bere. Let Professor Kindiki be the Deputy President of Kenya, not the Deputy President of Tharaka or Mount Kenya East or Mount Kenya West. He is the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya. We want to see him espousing that. And if so be it, the people of Kenya want to make him the President of Kenya come 2032, only the people of Kenya and God knows if that will happen. But moving forward is acceleration of Kenya's transformation by ensuring we have more united and prosperous country. That is the agenda of William Ruto and Professor Kindiki, to ensure the transformation of this nation is going to be accelerated. Kenyans can't wait longer. We want to see them going out of their way. We want to see zero-rating agricultural inputs, especially agricultural mechanizations. We want to see people in the villages are able to buy small milling machines which they can use in their own villages.
Why hasn't that happened in the last 2 years?
It depends with how the president is organizing his policies and the budgeting process. If we get more external support the way we are getting at the moment from IMF and World Bank and other multilateral or bilateral support, then we can expect zero-rating some of these machines, which can be very useful in our rural areas. For instance, a machine to make yogurt is not a very complicated thing, but it needs to be zero-rated so that every farmer with his 2 cows can be able to afford and make yogurt and sell to the nearest market center. So these are things we want to see happening moving forward. We must accelerate transformation of this nation. We cannot wait further. We cannot be talking about regional politics. And please, we want to ask media, don't take us to the regional politics. Forget about these Mount Kenya West, Mount Kenya East kind of politics. Let's talk about Kenya. Let's talk about what's going to be happening moving forward. So we were brought in that kind of politics by one Rigathi Gachagua.
Let's talk about Kenya. And you've said you're not expecting things to work. You're not expecting the president and the Kenya Kwanza government to sort out the issues in the health sector, in the education sector. You've talked about zero rating and all that. Someone would ask, was Rigathi Gachagua a hindrance to the government ensuring that all these things that you mentioned, the education sector and the healthcare sector, is working?
I'm sure moving forward you'll hear a Deputy President of the Republic talking about education sector. What the government is doing as far as the education sector is concerned, as far as the health sector is concerned, as far as agricultural sector is concerned. I want you to tell me, the last time you heard Rigathi Gachagua talking about education sector, talking about the policies in agricultural sector, talking about the policies or the effort the government is trying to make in terms of our infrastructure. Zero. Anytime you used to have a chance to talk, he was either talking about Mlima, about Mount Kenya, about his people, or he is seeing darkness. he had an opportunity to talk about Kenya. He had an opportunity to talk about economic sectors of our country. Tell me when you had regarding Gachagua, we're talking about university funding model.
Okay.
Which is bringing issues.
When
he's asked questions, he used to say, I don't want to lie. I'm a truthful man.
Before you engage
I can't you start seeing,
okay.
Why you have asked me a question. You start seeing moving forward a deputy president who's giving solutions to the issues affecting Kenyans. And that way, we who are in the National Assembly and Senate, we will follow suit. We will not start discussing about nonsensical politics. We will start talking about issues-based politics. Now, that is what Kenyans need.
Before I engage Daktari.
But when we have senior people there, president and the deputy president, we are talking about regional politics. We are talking about seeing darkness. We are talking about his people.
Fair enough, Honorable Ruku. Before I engage the two, before you go for a break and then I engage the two, you've said we'll now see a deputy president who will articulate policies, government policies in key sectors in the country. That is what you've said.
Yes.
We've seen the president articulate these issues and these policies.
Yes.
But they've not been implemented. So where do we draw the line?
Most of the issues which president talks about are being implemented. And we want to thank the president because, listen, someone who is moving around, let's say, 2 counties. For instance, this time he came to Embu County. We went to Runyenjes, we went to Manyata, to Bere North and Bere South. And the following day, no, it was not Embu County, it was in Tharaka. We went all through constituencies in Tharaka, 3 of them. And the same day, he flew to Mombasa in the evening, met people, and in the evening, he was in a town hall meeting articulating what his government is doing. President is human. You can only work hard to a certain extent. You need a principal assistant who can be doing those town halls as he carries other national issues. Okay. So he didn't have an assistant, a principal assistant, who can be able to articulate what government is doing. So that also the ministers can follow suit.
I think
let's just...
Only one point in regards to what Mheshimiwa is saying. You have asked a question which was very critical. Is it that the government could not implement their policies because of the deputy president? That's the question, Mheshimiwa, you have been asked. And I don't think if Gachagua has stopped the government in implementing he could fail to articulate it in different forums as a deputy president. But I don't think if the government failed to implement their policies because of Gachagua, can we probably hear from you, as he has mentioned, what are other obstacles that we had that led us led the government not implement the policies they wanted to implement, other than advocacy?
Fair enough.
Honorable Ruku, just kindly before you respond, let's just take a brief breather and then we'll come back and give you a chance to respond to that.
Okay.
On that note, we just take a brief breather and then we'll be back to, of course, hear what Honorable Ruku has to say in regards to what has been stopping the government from implementing the policies and ensuring that things work in key sectors here in the country. Don't go away.